All right, how does this year maybe feel different than last year? First year coming in the middle of labor negotiations was probably a crazy time. Is it just a little more relaxed this time?
Yeah, a lot less surprises. You've been able to communicate, definitely with the staff. That's no different, but with the players leading in. So you know where everybody's at, how they're feeling. The expectations of coming into camp are a lot different. So from that side of things, it is different and comforting knowing that you're going to have a lot less surprises coming through the door when everything opens up. But and there's just that level of understanding of you've gone through it for a full year in that position, so it's good.
Full year in that position. What do you think maybe the main thing you learned now that you've gotten an off season to sit back and reflect?
I wouldn't say learn, but the things you double down on is just communication, because it plays. Your ability to communicate clearly with your staff and then with the players is what leads to consistency and just continuity with everything you do. So just doubling down on communication efforts.
I'm curious, is there anything in particular you learned from Albert Pujols last year that you're going to take moving forward? A guy with that much knowledge, is there anything in particular that Albert did that you thought, okay, that's something I need to think about?
Gosh, there's so much that he did in ways he impacted the game outside of just his performance. His view on when things aren't going well was always to not panic, and just figuring out what's not working, what is working. Conversations that he'd have with players in the clubhouse, underneath the tunnel, during the game, was just this constant not focusing on what's wrong, but pushing towards what it is that we're trying to do together. But he did a really nice job of including the younger guys as well, so that they felt comfortable, which was a big part of them playing well. So overall, there's a lot of things to take from the way some of those guys led, especially him.
How long does how last year ended stick with you? Is it something that lingers, or are you ready to turn the page right away?
What part?
The playoffs specifically.
Yeah, it's something that obviously you don't love the way it ends, and you're hungry to get another crack at it. Obviously, the guys are hungry for it. They've prepared all off season, and they're looking forward to showing up here and taking care of business.
For the first time in 2 decades, a different catcher will be running the show here at spring training. What made Willson Contreras the right choice to be the next guy to follow Yadier Molina?
He's a competitor. At the end of the day, it wasn't a matter of finding the best bat or the best guy behind the plate as much as a guy that was going to compete at an extremely high level and fit into the overall mindset of what we're doing here. And he verbalized it extremely well during his interview. He envisioned himself in this uniform, and he wanted to compete for this organization, and we're really looking forward to it.
You mentioned defense. A lot is made about his defense, and you've had a guy back there you haven't had to worry about it all for 20 years. How do you see that specific part of his game? Because the rest of the infield and the outfield, for that matter, you got Gold Glovers everywhere. How do you think Contreras' defense might be something that maybe is overlooked?
This is a guy that works hard at it, and I think we do a good job of, from off-season to spring training to throughout the year, developing just the nuances of catching, and it's something that I think he's going to learn quite a bit from being with the organization. But this is a guy that works extremely hard at it and is hungry for what's next in his career, and I think this will be a part of it.
How closely were you involved with, maybe not convincing isn't the right word, but talking to Nolan Ryan to say, hey, this is the place where we can help you the most and where you need to be this off season? No,
at the end of the day, this is where Nolan wanted to be from the beginning. There wasn't a whole lot of convincing. There was good conversations between him and Mo, and it led to him continuing to be with us for a long time. So that's obviously something that not only the fan base but everybody inside is extremely happy about.
You ever sitting in the dugout and think to yourself, I'm watching 2 Hall of Fame careers unfold at first and third base? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Oh man, at some point I know I'll look back and take in everything that's taken place. I've even yet to do that with Yadi and Albert from last year, but at some point I know I'll take a step back and realize that it was some pretty special moments, and getting to manage some really, really good ball players for sure.
Let's talk outfield here a little bit. One of the points that I know fans are most interested in this spring training. Is there a formal conversation where you, Mo, maybe sit down with Jordan Walker and tell him, you do have a legit shot to make this team? Is that something that happens, or is it just kind of known?
No, you just allow him to go about his work. I think it's been said enough that there's competition in that outfield. And O'Neill and Carlson's and Nootbaars and Yepes and everybody, I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have to earn that position. And you throw Jordan Walker into that mix, and I'm interested to see how he comes in and how he competes and how he handles certain types of pressure and adversity. And we'll see how he responds to all of it. But no, each one of those guys are going to have to earn it.
How much have you been around him so far? Have you had a chance to get to know him a little bit?
No, this spring will be our first chance to really dive into it and get to know each other and really understand outside of the reports we get and communication with our minor league system as far as what makes him tick. But I'm looking forward to that.
He's one of the guys who will probably benefit from the World Baseball Classic. Just how do you see that as an opportunity for maybe some younger guys to get more of the spotlight, especially once games roll around when the World Baseball Classic guys are gone?
It's a great opportunity for some of the young guys, because the reality is you start to not have enough innings or at bats for those guys the deeper you get into spring training. But with the World Baseball Classic, it'll give an opportunity to get those at bats and see them for an extra time or two on the mound. So the young guys will benefit from it, and our staff will benefit from being able to truly evaluate what we have on our hands.
No moves made to get another starter this offseason. How confident are you in this group you have? There's a lot of guys to pick from, and there's certainly going to be a competition.
Who would you kick out?
There's a lot of names. There's 6 or 7, 8 guys you could put in there.
Everyone always wants the new shiny toy. I get it, but the reality is we have some guys that are going to compete for that rotation and some guys that are going to be on the outside looking in. And your question, are we confident with what we have? We are. If we weren't, we would have made another move. So we're looking forward to seeing that competition and how it shapes out.
This is a huge year for Jack Flaherty. How much is he really an X factor? Because we've seen him be an ace before. If he's an ace for this team, again, who knows where you could go? Just how do you see Jack coming into this year?
I'm confident in what Jack's going to be able to do, and Jack's confident in what he's going to be able to do. He's communicated feeling better than ever. He's healthy. He's in a great place mentally, and he's looking forward to competing, and that's all you can ask for. But our hopes are pretty high that he's able to do some pretty special things for us and throw some meaningful innings.
A couple more. Adams last year, which he has said don't make a whole lot of pomp and circumstance about it. Is there even a way to encapsulate what he has meant to this franchise over the years?
Yeah, it's easy to focus on how he's contributed on the field. The reality is what he's done off the field and in that clubhouse and in the community is incredible. And he's really led the way in what this looks like to be a Cardinal. It's incredible the influence that he's had over some of the younger guys. And a lot of these guys' careers have taken a different trajectory because of his influence and knowledge. And a lot of us are thankful for the time and energy that he's put into it, and we're looking forward to his final year.
I'm going to try and ask a lot of the guys and hopefully put it together into something. Do you have a specific Adam story that sticks out to your mind where he went out of his way to help you or just kind of showed what he's all about? Is there anything, a moment or an anecdote or something? No, it's tough to pick one thing.
It's not even baseball related. It's actually off the field where when I was in the minor leagues as a player, actually, or maybe my first year as a staff member, he paid for me and my wife to attend this marriage conference that him and Jenny go to, and it really changed the way we would kind of continue to do life. So but those are some of the ways that he's had an impact on people's lives that are far from the field, but that have led to some pretty cool things. So yeah, I got plenty of those stories when it comes to Adam.
That's neat. 2 more. Do you have any strong thoughts on the rule changes coming this year? The pitch clock, the shift. Did you guys spend time talking about that today?
Yeah, and everyone's under the same rules, so we'll go at it and see how it works. But the reality is, we'll spend a decent amount of time asking our minor league staff how they've gone about it, because they've implemented it in the minor leagues prior to introducing it to the big league level. So we'll kind of make sure we're up to date as to anything we need to know there. But we'll spend time talking to our players about it and make sure that everybody's informed. and we'll see how it plays.
Do you have a personal opinion on any of the changes, the shift change in particular?
Not at all.
No?
No.
Those are the rules to play by, so that's what you go with.
All 30 teams are playing by it.
Final thought, just how much of your time is consumed by the singular thought of getting this team to the next level? Getting to the playoffs hasn't been too much of a challenge. Obviously, a lot goes into during the
For a lot of
regular
organizations, it is.
For a lot of organizations,
Yeah.
it is. You guys have the standard of getting to the playoffs.
Correct.
But just how much do you think about what can I do to make that next step?
No different than any other year. We don't set out to make the first round of the playoffs or the second round of the playoffs. We set out to win a World Series. And there's times it happens and times it doesn't. And when it doesn't happen, nobody's happy about it. Nobody in that clubhouse, nobody on the staff, nobody in the front office. Our goal, the reason we show up every single day is to win a World Series. So when it doesn't happen, there's a pretty big disappointment to everybody that's part of that group. But as far as messaging, if there's something different we can say to win a World Series, we would have said it already. It's just a matter of going out there and executing, and our group's prepared to do that.